Miguel de Cervantes's Don Quixote, perhaps the most influential and well-known work of Spanish literature, was first published in full in 1615. The novel, which is very regularly regarded as one of the best literary works of all time, tells the story of a man who takes the name Don Quixote de la Mancha and sets off in a fit of obsession over romantic novels about chivalry to revive the custom and become a hero himself. The character of Don Quixote has become an idol and somewhat of an archetypal character, influencing many major works of art, music, and literature since the novel's publication. The text has been so influential that a word, quixotic, based on the Don Quixote character, was created to describe someone who is foolishly impractical, especially in the pursuit of ideals, especially marked by rash, lofty romantic ideas or extravagantly chivalrous action.
Jane Eyre by English writer Charlotte Brontë was initially published in 1847 under the pseudonym Currer Bell to disguise the fact that the writer was a woman. Fortunately, a lot has changed with regard to women in literature since 1847, and Brontë now receives the credit she deserves for one of the most groundbreaking novels about women in history. At a time when the author felt compelled to hide her true identity, Jane Eyre provided a story of individualism for women. The novel's eponymous character rises from being orphaned and poor into a successful and independent woman. The work combines themes from both Gothic and Victorian literature, revolutionizing the art of the novel by focusing on the growth in Jane's sensibility with internalized action and writing. In 2011, a film based on the novel of the same name was produced.
"100 Years of Solitude." The late Colombian author Gabriel Garcia Marquez published his most famous work, 100 Years of Solitude, in 1967. The novel tells the story of 7 generations of the Bundia family and follows the establishment of their town Macondo until its destruction along with the last of the family's descendants. In fantastical form, the novel explores the genre of magic realism by emphasizing the extraordinary nature of commonplace things while mystical things are shown to be common. Marquez highlights the prevalence and power of myth and folktale in relating history and Latin American culture. The novel won many awards for Marquez, leading the way to his eventual honor of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982 for his entire body of work, of which 100 Years of Solitude is often lauded as his most triumphant. Download the book from the link at the bottom of this video.
Les Miserables, novel by Victor Hugo, published in French in 1862. It was an instant popular success and was quickly translated into several languages.
When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes.
Set in the Parisian underworld and plotted like a detective story, the work follows the fortunes of the convict Jean Valjean, a victim of society who has been imprisoned for 19 years for stealing a loaf of bread. A hardened and streetwise criminal upon his release, he eventually softens and reforms, becoming a successful industrialist and mayor of a northern town. Despite this, he is haunted by an impulsive, regretted former crime and is pursued relentlessly by the police inspector Javert. Valjean eventually gives himself up for the sake of his adopted daughter, Cosette, and her husband, Marius. Les Miserables presents a vast panorama of Parisian society and its underworld, and it contains many famous episodes and passages, among them a chapter on the Battle of Waterloo and the description of Valjean's rescue of Marius by means of a flight through the sewers of Paris.
The Da Vinci Code is a 2003 mystery thriller novel by Dan Brown. It is Brown's second novel to include the character Robert Langdon. The first was his 2000 novel Angels and Demons. The Da Vinci Code follows symbologist Robert Langdon and cryptologist Sophie Neveu after a murder in the Louvre Museum in Paris causes them to become involved in a battle between the Priory of Sion and Opus Dei over the possibility of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene having had a child together. The novel explores an alternative religious history, whose central plot point is that the Merovingian kings of France were descended from the bloodline of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. The events of the novel, which is considered among the best-selling books in history, take place in several cities and monuments, and reveal the secrets of religious history in an interesting and exciting way.
Sir Lee TV.
Robert, a dramatic late-night arrival. What can an old cripple do for you?
I'm into something here that I cannot understand.
In 2006, a movie with the same title was produced, and it was based on the events of the novel, and it had sales of $224 million.